So I did my current event on February 2017. So this February was the second warmest February in 137 years, and this information comes from the National Centers for Environmental Information. So last month, the average continuous U.S. temperature was 41.2 degrees, which is about 7.3 degrees above the 20th century average temperature for the month of February. So throughout the U.S., different things happened. One thing was the 39 states from the Rockies to the East Coast were much warmer than average, and that includes us, Maine. And of these 16, they went across South, Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and they experienced record warm temperatures. For only the third time on record, Chicago had no measurable snow in February, and this is really rare for Chicago. Louisiana and Texas had their warmest winter on record, with temperatures 6.8 and 5.7 degrees above average. And lastly, on February 25th, a tornado hit Western Mass, injuring one person. This was the first February tornado on record for the state. So this picture really shows how much above average a lot of the temperatures went throughout the month of February. You see more up north, the temperatures really rose above average. So obviously you can see in the east part of the U.S., you can see that there's a lot of red, so which means that we went way above average. This graph shows basically how warm the months do get. So between June and I'd say September is like where the big peak is for the warm. And you can see over on the left for February, you can see how there's this straight line going up. And this is the peak that we hit this February 2017 and how warm it actually got compared to what it usually is. So there's multiple different people talking about what they think the cause is, and so here are just a couple perspectives from meteorologists. So meteorologist Jim Andrews says what happens in the oceans is undoubtedly very important to what happens on land. It may well be that the state of the ocean water temperatures surrounding North America is just an ideal arrangement to maximize warmth over North America. So he's basically saying, oh, this is normal, this is a good arrangement. It's good that North America is warming, and doesn't mention anything about climate change at all, and he thinks it's just a good thing. Second, meteorologist Alex Sonowski, he says, I think the biggest thing in my opinion would be Arctic oscillation. It trapped most of the Arctic air in the far north and allowed milder air to sweep across Canada and much of the U.S. So he, again, isn't referencing climate change, doesn't think that climate change has anything to do with it. But then we have the third person, Brett Anderson, and he says you need more data to prove global warming. In only one season, you really can't link it. I can see where he's coming from, as in it only happened once, but I think that this has happened more than once, and it's just getting worse, it's just getting warmer, and us as a class can really agree that it is warming because of climate change and because of global warming. So I'm not really sure why these meteorologists don't think that. So there's multiple different effects that happen when February is warm and when we go above average for our temperature. So in some regions, so this could happen, when you have a warmer day, the living things like trees, flowers, eggs, birds, whatever, they sprout, or the eggs hatch, and then after they do sprout, there's a winter cold outbreak, like usual, how the winter weather comes, but then one day it's warm, one day it's cold. So this could potentially damage or kill the fooled organisms thinking that it was springtime when it's really not. Also, in one study, a false spring in 2012 cost $500 million in damages to fruit and vegetables in Michigan. This is a lot of money, and the people who are growing the fruits and vegetables are going to be affected because they just lost that much money, which could have helped their income, their housing, the way they live. So that's a big issue. I related this to flight behavior with the butterflies, and this also can be related to birds. So when you're in the winter and you do experience temperatures that are higher in temperature, these butterflies will come because they think that it's spring, they think that it's warm. But then once they come to these warm temperatures, we're going to have days where it's really cold and that could kill them off. Same with birds. They migrate to warmer areas in the winter. But when it's winter here, but it's technically warm, they're going to get fooled and it could be really bad for them. So some effects on people. With the warmer temperatures and climate change, it's affecting storms like the tornado that happened in Western Mass on February 25th. So these storms are coming, people aren't prepared, and these storms can be really damaging to neighborhoods, ruin houses. People will lose so much because of these storms, and this is because the earth is warming and because of climate change.